When it comes to art and design, many people point to schools in the northeastern U.S. Schools like New York University, Rochester Institute of Technology, and Pratt are considered the cream of the crop. Venture south of the Mason-Dixon line, however, and you'll find one school drawing a lot of attention.
Here, appearance matters. Space and form are the order of the day. Visual artists use tools of old and new to create captivating images. Would-be fashion designers clip, cut, and sew, hoping to one day see their work grace the runways and retail centers. This is also the training ground for Hollywood Imagineers. The Savannah College of Art and Design, or SCAD for short, is an institution on the rise. It has two campuses in Georgia, one in the scenic town of Savannah, the other in the bustling metropolis of Atlanta. SCAD also has international reach with campuses in La Costa, France, and Hong Kong, China. Advertising, animation, fashion, and game development are just some of the more than 40 degree programs SCAD offers.
The primary driving force behind SCAD is president and founder Paula Wallace. Her journey from grade school classroom to head of a growing university is the subject of today's Executive Profiles.
You've written a book called The Bee and the Acorn, and the book goes into great detail about the path, the journey that you went on to being one of the co-founders of the school. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Well, I attended public schools in Atlanta, and I taught in the Atlanta public schools in several schools. I had a great career in the public schools in Atlanta. I thought that I would take the techniques that I saw were working very well with my students and really translate them into higher education, into a university setting.
Typically, people who have thoughts like that just end up putting them on the back burner. You thought it through and took it to a business plan.
Well, fortunately, I had the help and support of my family, especially my parents, May and Paul Petter. They really helped in so many ways, not only giving their experience and their advice, but also helping to donate. This was a nonprofit organization that was founded almost now 40 years ago.
Take me back to 1979. That first day, it must have been, was it terrifying? Was it exciting? What were the emotions you were going through in the very early stages?
I think those first students were very, very brave. They were pioneers of a sort, and they were excellent students from the very beginning. I was just so glad to be in a teaching and learning environment.
What drew you to Savannah in the first place?
I thought the charm and the possibilities there. I'm a dreamer myself, and I wrote this book for dreamers. And SCAD is a big dream, but it's a dream that's come true. And our students they like to say, dream out loud. And so that's what I did. I told people about my idea for SCAD, and people supported it, and students came to SCAD from the very beginning.
I think I read that early on you needed books for your library, and you got a really good job of knowing how to ask people for things. And it was one of the State University of New York colleges that actually ended up donating 10,000 volumes to your library.
They did, mostly law books, but I knew that often university libraries have redundancies. They may cancel a program of study, or they may have more books than they need in a certain category, and so I sought books from the West Virginia State Public Library System, from universities, and the State University of New York at Fredonia really came through strong.
In 2005, SCAD made the decision to open an Atlanta campus. Mm-hmm. And that was an exciting time for you. What caused you to want to do that, and what were the challenges you faced in opening an Atlanta campus? Mm-hmm.
Well, most of our Georgia-based students, many of them had come from Atlanta to Savannah, so I knew, and a lot of the employers of our graduates, we have 97% placement of our graduates, and that's more than double the national average. So I knew where our employers are for our graduates, and so I thought, well, Atlanta would be a very receptive and also an exciting place for our students to be able to study. You know, when you enroll at SCAD, you're accepted to one university, but you may move about to all the different campuses. So you may take a term in France, you may take in a medieval village. I mean, it's so charming. It's like a Disney movie, but it's real. You may study here in Atlanta with all these major Fortune 500 companies that employ our graduates and also do sponsored projects with our students while they're still students. Over 3 million square feet of space on all the different campuses. You know, it's really a pleasure and a privilege to be able to have so much historic preservation, to be such an important part of the character and the DNA, as people say, of SCAD. The greenest thing you can possibly do is to not tear down a building. And so we've been able to recycle major architectural structures into classroom buildings and into studios and even into student centers.
How many students are there in Atlanta?
About 2,500 in Atlanta. We're attracted to Atlanta because of the film business. Being here, SCAD is really known for teaching film, but not only film, all the individual aspects of film, such as sound design. We have an entire major in sound design, performing arts, production design. So all the aspects of film that filmmakers need.
Where do you see the entertainment industry going in Atlanta, and how do you see SCAD helping to support what goes on here?
Well, we have the Digital Media Center, which was a television affiliate. In that particular facility, we have sound design studio, a Foley studio, we have a screening room. I mean, we have all kinds of technology that students need.
So when people drive by the school, they see the building, it looks beautiful from the outside, but it may seem a bit imposing. Are they invited in? Is there things they could be doing? Can they see this artwork that exists inside of there?
Absolutely. And there's even a museum, SCAD Fash, which is the only fashion and film museum that I know of, and it's located right here in Atlanta, Georgia, in our 1600 building. So we constantly have exhibitions there. The public can come in, school children can come in. In fact, we provide free curriculum guides for any classes that teachers bring in to study the garments and the photography. We have a film salon there, and we have exhibitions.
If SCAD hadn't happened, if for some reason, I don't know, what else could you have been doing with your career? Would interior design have been maybe one of your passions? It sounds like it's one of your passions as it is.
Maybe, but
yeah.
I always use the arts to teach. My first job was really being a piano teacher in Southwest Atlanta. I taught all the neighborhood children, so at about 12, I had my own business as a little arts entrepreneur educator. So that's where the teaching bug really got to me. But then later, I worked summers at Continental Insurance Company in downtown Atlanta. I don't know what I would be doing. I probably in education, because that's my first love.
Yeah.
Well, SCAD recently held commencement exercises for its Savannah, Atlanta, and Hong Kong campuses. According to the 2016 SCAD alumni study, 98% of combined undergraduate and graduate respondents reported being employed, pursuing further education, or both within 10 months of graduation. Of those with jobs, 88% say they're working in their industry of study. Ahead, what does age have to do with homebuyer optimism? Our numbers guru Patrick Crosby puts perspective on the two as he does what he does best, looking at business by the numbers, of course. That's next.